Welcome to the year 2018. Yay! I wish you a prosperous new year. We're excited to have you join us on the program today. It's the Property First Show, your go-to show for real estate matters. I'm Layoli Oyatogun. A big shout out to all our fans for your day-to-day activities on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google Plus at Property First Show. Did you miss any of our previous episodes? Then not to worry, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Babsomo Comes. There are a great number of things you have to keep in mind before you purchase that property. Before purchasing that landed property or completed building, make sure you do your due diligence on the property. You honestly don't want to fall into the hands of fraudulent people. These are some important tips for you to consider before buying that property. Make sure you have a budget. Ensure you demand for the documents the owner possesses. A proper land verification search is so vital. Do not buy land without viewing the land physically. Any land that smells of trouble is totally out. Do not pay for any landed transaction in cash. Do not listen to a land seller's opinion about the title of land they possess without verifying it. Every transactional agreement must always be documented. Take possession of the land immediately. Was the tip of the iceberg. I have with me a seasoned expert who will shed more light on acquiring your property legitimately. Welcome, sir, to the show. Thank you for having us.
It's been my pleasure.
All right, sir. Now tell us, how important is the service of a legal practitioner in acquiring a property?
Well, the importance of a legal practitioner is so key and central to the acquisition process, in the sense that it is a legal practitioner that will guide you into not making mistakes, to not losing your investment. Because when you have the services of a legal practitioner, you are in a safe hand, in the sense that there are areas that you need to be guided as to the law, that guides property acquisition, the status. You need to know about the status of the property you are acquiring. So all this can only be done if you engage the services of a legal practitioner. Otherwise, you are just going to be entering a market blindly, and the implication is either you might fall or you are taking a greater risk than necessary if you don't have the services of a legal practitioner in acquiring property. But it is also a risk that doesn't worth it. So you don't need that risk. All you need to do is that you need to acquire it, to engage a legal practitioner in acquiring any landed property, whether it is situated in the rural area or the urban area.
Wow.
It is so key, it is central, so that you can at least you can sleep with two eyes.
Sir, in this part of the world, it's almost a Herculean task in getting proper documentation for your landed property. What are the causes of this delay?
The first thing I'm going to attribute it to is the bureaucracy that has been entrenched in many of our land registries. Processes that that should not ordinarily take more than a month, 3 weeks, a month. Is taking you 2 years, to complete. And those delays don't augur well for the development of the property, business in the country, because it is, and that delay is also attributed to corruption. The general attitude of civil servants, those who are in charge of the documentation process, they put all sorts of bureaucracy so that the tax will look so Herculean, the tax will look so gigantic that at the end of the day you have no choice to speed on. And Nigerians, we don't want, just like an average Nigerian, whenever we are in the traffic, we want to drive against traffic, we want to take one way, we want to take shortcut, do out lane. So that is, we have the propensity of an average Nigerian to also want to do shortcut. It's now taken advantage of by some of these bureaucrats. The delay has been caused by bureaucracy. So what the institutions need to do is to whittle down the bureaucratic process, is to make sure that the bureaucratic impediments are so reduced to the extent that at least it becomes easier for an average Nigerian to do the documentation So that is why people are running away from the documentation process. The delay is majorly bureaucracy and corruption.
Sir, how important is it to do a land verification search?
The importance of land documentation is to enable you to know the status, first and foremost, the status of the land, the property that you are trying to acquire. You have to know the status to the extent that, okay, one, what is the title document, if it has a title document, what is the, has there been a caveat emptor on it, meaning that buyers beware. It's a cautionary word, we call it encumbrance. In the legal parlance, we use the word encumbrance, that encumbrance has already been placed on it. The encumbrance might be as a result of the fact that someone has used that particular landed property that you are trying to acquire, someone has used it to mortgage, to get a mortgage facility from the bank. So meaning that the title resides in the bank from which the person has taken the loan. So at that point, you are not supposed, nobody can start any business on that particular property. So there is what is known as encumbrance. So it will be placed there. So what you do when you do the verification is to look at the title document to see, particularly for registered title, you look at it whether it has been used, it has been the basis of any financial transaction with a financial institution in the time past. So it will be revealed there at the land registry. And also you do the verification to look at to know the status of the land as to whether it is a free land or a government acquired land. There are properties that fall within government acquisition, and meaning that you cannot, as private individual, transact business on that without, you accept government is doing that. So those are some of the things that you know when you verify the status of the land. When you do the verification, when you do the search through your survey, of course, first and foremost, there will be a survey on the land, and you can use that survey, take it to the land registry, to look at the status, whether it falls within government acquisition or outside acquisition.
Sir, this brings me to the question. There are instances where people purchase government acquired properties. Is this the activity of fraudsters in disguise as developers?
Let me first and foremost tell you that ultimately, there seems to be the risk aspect that it's also involved a risk. You cannot be 100% too sure, except in some cases. Because there are even land, apart from the question of acquisition, there are also factors of litigation. There are times that a land, maybe the person who is selling to you was not the real owner, or someone who is trying to challenge his ownership over the land. So in that situation, the person, he might not disclose to you, or that the land is part of a general land. When you are buying a plot of land, that plot of land that you are buying is part of a larger piece of land that is subject of litigation, like it happened in one particular community about 2 years ago in Lekki Ansis. So you have just bought a plot. That plot that you are buying, falls within maybe acres that are subject of litigation. And at the end of the day, wherever the litigation battle swings to, who wins become the owner of every portion of the land. So exactly. Ultimately, you lose it. But you can also, if you take the necessary precaution, you can be sure when you do the search, when you engage the service of the legal practitioner, the risk will be reduced. It is not as if the risk can be completely eradicated, but at least you get to a point where you can be sure that at least you have done the necessary, what you call due diligence. So having done the due diligence, you are safe, you are good to go, to use the word. So once you are good to go, the risk has become so minimal. Every other thing can always be taken care of.
Sir, how can I be certain the property I'm about to purchase is a genuine one?
In most cases, it could be, but also in some cases due to ignorance. There are people who don't know the extent of the acquisition. Although many of the so-called developers, they may know, they pretend not to know, or some argue and dispute it that, because originally land belong to, the land tenure system we have, and the status of landed properties we have mostly in a country like Nigeria, of course, is the customary ownership, where people got to the land through settlement, inheritance, and it passes divorce from one generation to the other.
Oh, really?
So that gives some people a kind of false confidence. But however, by virtue of the Land Use Act of 1978, everybody has become practically a tenant to the government. However, there are some properties that are also, given a special, government acquisition status, that they have been acquired, that meaning that you are not supposed to do anything on this particular land. It's government acquired. So what people do, what some fraudsters do that, is that they make sure that unsuspecting investors don't know about the status of the land, so they continue to sell and sell outside what they can actually legitimately sell. So those are some of this, and also ignorance when people don't know, if you don't do the search, you may not know that a particular land falls within acquisition. Like example, I won't mention the name of the community. There's a place around the Lekki Axis. What happened was that at a point, the Lagos State government did a CFO. There's this thing we call extinction. They released through the Gazette a large expanse of land to a landowning family there. The community, they released it to the community. But what we now discovered was that after the community had actually exhausted its own holding on the land, they continue to sell above. They also encroach further into government acquired part of the land. So those who bought from them, they are using the same CFO that government gave to them to sell above. However, you cannot do that ordinarily in law. So what they did was that there are some people who bought through the certificate of occupancy. Some people bought outside the framework after the scope of that CFO. So due to the activities of unscrupulous, land sellers, these so-called developers. But all these things, the guide against it, the panacea is for you to do a search that will at least enable you to know the status before you plunge into it.
Is there a regulatory body that ensures that people don't fall into the hands of fraudsters when acquiring properties?
Well, there is no, to the best of my knowledge, I put it like that, there are no existing regulatory bodies other than the fact that we have the bureaus of land in different states. We have the Federal Land Registry. Those are government, agencies where you can conduct searches, you can do the verification, the necessary verification, so that they exist for that purpose. Recently, Lagos State government also set up what is known as this anti-land grabbing task force, things like that, headed by one of our colleagues, that just to checkmate the activities of fraudsters, unscrupulous elements, when it comes to acquisition of landed properties. So those are the agencies, but they are, as it is, there are no specialized agencies like you have EFCC or you have ICPC in charge of land to ensure, maybe to protect you. The agencies you need to relate to are the necessary government agencies created pursuant to the law, existing law. We have the Bureau of Land, Ministry of Land, the Surveyor General's Office, where you can ascertain through the survey document you have whether the land falls within government acquisition or it's a free land. So those are we have a lot of parastatals, the government agencies that you can relate with, but there are no regulatory agencies for the purpose.
How true is the fact that over 90% of Nigeria's land lacks proper documentation?
Well, maybe I may not be able to say it with a kind of exactitude as to that statistic. I don't know the basis for that statistic, how people got, whether it was 90%, over 90%, 80%. But to what I know that it is true, is that many of the landed properties we have in Nigeria, most of the larger percentage lack the proper documentation. I mean documentation in the strict sense of it. It is very correct when you say that, but then I wouldn't know the basis or the statistic who conducted the research to know that it is actually 90% or less or over. So, but I know that many of the landed properties lack documentation, and maybe the factors responsible are some of those things we have already highlighted. People, the bureaucracy, the bureaucratic bottlenecks that you encounter in the process of trying to acquire, to get the proper documentation. And some people, let me also state that the documentation becomes also is a modern phenomenon. Also, in the days of our grandparents, great grandfathers, everybody And then, unfortunately, they were also more honest, because you knew that this is your boundary. Without survey documenting, in the sense of it, everybody knows that, okay, it may be through 1 tree. You know that, oh, from that tree, that is, you know, to another tree, that's my land. From that one, this belongs to Ajami. From the other one belongs to Laton, or this other one, you know. So, it is, we are not, it's something we are not so used to. So, and even in the modern context, we have had instances where people become so relaxed that what is my own? After all, what secures your land is actually in most cases possession. Once you are in possession of the land, I will simply, my reaction is that, what is my business with any so-called documentation? Let anybody come and tell me. I will, you know, particularly our people who are more culturally minded, they know that the Oba, the traditional ruler, like in Yoruba land, they believe that the traditional ruler knows the history of every family. So you can't just trespass. It is not about the documentation. So what we need is constant education and reminder to get our people to develop a cultural attitude towards documentation.
What are the questions I should ask a developer just before I buy land?
It is an eye-opening question that you also bring out a lot of revealing answers. Because by the time you ask the person, how did you come about this land, what the person tells you also will guide you into further inquiry as to, because there are cases that will not just add, there are stories that will not just add up, there are things that will not just, you know, be general. For instance, if you are acquiring a property in a customary ownership, it is not enough for someone to just tell you that, well, it's owned by my grandfather. You know, the person will be able to tell you, how did the grandfather come into the land? Is it by conquest? Is it by settlement? You know, so, and when those questions will provide, you know, they provide the kind of answer that the person is going, and the kind of answer that you are provided with is going to give you a guide as to whether it is safe, whether you are secure into buying the land. So, but the first question, even if the person owns a CFO, how did you obtain the CFO? It is very necessary, it is important, you can't shy away from it.
Wow, I'm sure viewers have learned so much from your wealth of experience. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. Thank you so much for taking out time to talk to us. We appreciate it, sir. We'll go on a commercial break right now. We'll be back with our juicy property showcase segment. Stay tuned.
Now is the perfect time to plan your Christmas vacations and get the best deals with Wakanow.com. Travel to Miami, Zanzibar, Dubai, and other international destinations with Wakanow and get an international travel sim absolutely free. Use our Wakanow Pay Small scheme to lock down the best deals with 25% deposit and then spread the balance payment conveniently before your travel date. Call us on 0700 925 2669 or log on to www.wakanow.com to start your booking.
Wakanow, let's go.
Our property pick for today is a 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex in one of the most sought-after neighborhoods. This property is located within the Southern View Estate in Orchid, a 2-minute drive from the second toll gate in Lekki. This property has 4 beautifully designed bedrooms with a boys' quarter. It also has a very spacious living room, dining room, and a well-fitted kitchen. Spacious en-suite master bedroom with a walk-in closet, jacuzzi, and shower. 5 sound system speakers attached to the roof for the ones that love music. Treated water supply with an overhead 100-liter water tank. Tight security and electric fence. Water heater for the bathrooms and lots more. Town planners have been urged to discharge their duties to the public in accordance with the ethics of their profession. Lagos State government has vowed to prosecute any real estate agent caught indulging in fraudulent practices. Experts call for the introduction of Property Verification Number (PVN) to improve transparency in home ownership. Kogi, Cross River, Kaduna and Delta states adopt the Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company (NMRC's) foreclosure law. That's all we have for you on this segment. Join us next week for updates in the real estate industry. That's the end of the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Join me same time next week for your weekly guide in the real estate market. Do you have a stake in the real estate industry? Then take advantage of our ongoing 100,000 Naira promo. This means you can place an advert on Property First for just 100,000 Naira. For inquiries and advert placements, call the number 090-2023-2719 or 081-8653-3938. Don't forget that the conversation continues on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google Plus at Property First Show. I'm Loyally Oyatungu. Bye-bye.